You now have full access to the Odd Couple for the next 3 hours. Woo-hoo! No matter how you listen on the radio or on foxsportsradio.com or the iHeartRadio app or Sirius Channel 83. Say my name.
Rob Parker.
Say his name.
Kelvin Washington.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
And welcome into the Odd Couple on a Trash Talking Tuesday. And, man, what a show we have for you today. And I want you to know we are broadcasting live from the TireRack.com studios.
We'll do it live.
Thank you, Bill. TireRack.com. We'll help you get there. Unmatched selection, fast free shipping, free road hazard protection, and over 10,000 recommended installers.
Wow.
That's right. You heard me right. TireRack.com. The way tire buying should be. What a show for you. Ephraim Salaam, the former NFL offensive lineman and Fox Sports Radio superstar, is coming up in about 27 minutes. We'll get to him. Steve Tasker, the former NFL All-Pro. He'll join us from the Bills in hour number 2. And hour number 3, Saad Youssef. He covers the Dallas Cowboys for the Athletics. So
there's a whole lot to talk about there.
A lot to talk about, a lot to do, and let's welcome in my co-host, Mr. Kelvin Washington. What is happening?
What's up, brother? We got a lot to talk about, and it's Trash Talking Tuesday, although I felt like yesterday was Trash Talking Monday or something.
Is that right?
Yeah, we had a lot going on. We had a lot of trash talk between you and I. The guest, I think Rod Woodson is still yelling at you.
Oh, yeah.
Even from wherever he is right now. Still feels some type of way about you.
But that's all right. He could do that. He don't have a 50,000-watt radio station. That's the difference.
Hey, he got some money.
Okay.
He can make a few calls, and next thing you know, he be our third co-host sitting over here. You never know.
No.
Feeling good, man. You know, you and I were sitting here during one of the 2 Monday Night Football games that I don't understand what the NFL is doing, scheduling these NFL games. You know, I get the first week, right? It's everybody's excited and you want a bunch of football, but week 3. But we were looking at the Bills, and we were looking at the Bills dismantle the Jags, which I told you I can't believe you bet on the Jags.
Yes.
I don't know what you're doing
Sometimes
there.
when it just was a gut, I told you it wasn't based on anything other than sometimes something looks
That's
so
true.
obvious.
It's true.
Like a couple of those games when the Raiders beat Baltimore.
Yeah.
There are games where you go, what? Or the Panthers beat the Raiders, where you go, there's no way the Panthers are going to win, and they win. Let's welcome in the Odd Couple crew, and we'll get into all that, and Josh Allen and his performance. Rob G, of course, is our producer. Alex is our engineer. Yes.
You're gonna get your own applause, Alex.
That's right.
I like when you guys do it for me.
All right, yeah. There you go. I got you.
Shout out to Elijah.
Yeah.
Isaac Lowenkron is at the anchor's desk.
Yes, sir.
He'll keep us updated throughout the show. And, of course, Elijah is our social media guru. And let's talk about that performance, which if you're ownership of the Jaguars or whatever after that, you can fire the coach. You can make a lot of changes. General manager, you want to. The quarterback ain't going nowhere. You just signed him to $250 million. So you're stuck with him. But if you want to get rid of Doug Peterson, you could. They didn't show up.
Absolutely.
It was embarrassing. But a lot of people, instead of looking at the Jaguars, are looking at Josh Allen and the Bills. They made all kinds of changes in the offseason. Last year, people thought they were dead, and all how bad, oh, my God, and can they get back, and their windows closed and all that other stuff. And then Josh Allen puts on a performance which was suitable for framing.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, they were just scoring at will. He was tremendous all night long, and they put up a ton of points. But I got news for you, Mr. Kelvin Washington.
Oh, boy. 5 minutes in with trash talking starting already?
Yes. My news for you is that I don't care how many points Josh Allen put up. I don't care how big of a win they got. Until further notice, Josh Allen is regular season dead to me.
Okay.
Nothing he does during these 17 games means jack. We've seen these performances by him. And yesterday, if you want to think it was all him, I got news for you. Jamarcus Russell could have done what he did against the Jaguars. That's how pathetic and pitiful and disgusting they didn't even show up. I know Buffalo's not a great place even in September, but they didn't even show up for that. My point is, I don't care about Josh Allen. I don't care about the Bills. They're 3-0. They can be 17-0, whatever it is. Can you get a dub when it matters? Can you finally move it? Can you stop being known as wide right New York and stop missing the field goals when it matters? Stop losing the playoff games that you have won. Stop doing that stuff. That's when I will fully appreciate Josh Allen, fully look at the Buffalo Bills. This franchise has been nothing but disappointing, period. They've had great regular seasons. They once went to 4 straight Super Bowls and came away with nothing. Why should I care about the Buffalo Bills and about Josh Allen? You're dead to me. How you doing?
Well, Rob G, you got to redo the rundown, man, because it says Trash Talk Tuesday a little bit later on in the show. I didn't know we were starting off. It says we're going to talk about the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, and we're going to talk about that. You want to come off on fire, which is why I'm telling you, shout out to the bosses. This is why they were like, yo, go bring in Dub, have K-Dub here to go and talk to Rob Parker and try to talk some sense into him. Now, you like to do the same thing you just did to me yesterday, talking about, when we want to have conversations. Oh, you want to live in the past. Well, currently that's what you're doing, right? You're living in the past with the Buffalo Bills. Now, in life, you're a boxing fan too. You guys do the show. Historically, you guys have done the show for some big fights. Sometimes there's just a person you can't get in front of. Sometimes there's just a team you just can't get by. And for Josh Allen, oh, and by the way, for Lamar Jackson, oh, and by the way, for the San Francisco 49ers, oh, and by the way, for everybody in the NFL for the last 3 or 4 years, that team has been the Kansas City Chiefs. So if you take out the Kansas City Chiefs and you take out Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen might be the best and the most exciting player in the NFL. Josh Allen may be in the Bills' top 2, top 3 team in the NFL. So, yes, ultimately, come January, I get what you're saying. However, only thing I can keep doing is showing up, right? I can keep showing up until I win, and I can keep showing up and beating who's in front of me, whether it be the Jacksonville Jaguars, whether it be whoever is coming up next for the Buffalo Bills. I just got to keep showing up. And the more I keep getting cracks at it, the more I got an opportunity to shut Rob Parker up. So, yes, we would like to see the productivity you're saying in the postseason. But dang it, they keep showing up to the postseason. Dang it, they keep beating. And if Patrick Mahomes would get out the way, I might get to the Super Bowl. I might win the Super Bowl.
Patrick Mahomes didn't miss a field goal at home in Buffalo. Patrick Mahomes, stop.
Right, but you're
giving people an excuse. And Patrick Mahomes does not dictate everything that goes on. I hate to break it to you. They haven't gotten the job done. Last year when Buffalo got on a run, guess what? It was when they stopped throwing the ball with Josh Allen and started running the football, and they ran off 6 wins in a row, and he had a lesser role. It wasn't about throwing the football. My point is, these big games against nobody and nobody showing up, and you want to salivate and go, oh, Buffalo, everybody wrote them off. I still got them going to the Super Bowl. Oh, they look like a Super Bowl-bound team to me. Off of that? I'm sorry, off of that?
So then, Elijah, do me a favor. You're Mr. Technological Digital Guru over here. Disconnect Rob's NFL Sunday ticket, please. Disconnect all these big, gigantic monitors we have in here.
For you.
Because
Visa,
what's the point of watching?
Visa did that when I didn't pay the bill.
Well, shout out to Visa, because what's the point? If we're going to hang everything on to last season.
We don't have to do that. It's just that at some point with certain players, you notice that nothing. It was like with the Celtics. Jason Tatum and we've seen that.
That's true.
Okay? At some point, they won 60 games. They won the division. We all know that. At some point, you got to ante up. You got to win the big game, and that's what separates people talking about how great Josh Allen is and whether or not he's really great. because that's what you're judged on. That's all I'm saying is we've seen this movie before.
What you were saying was putting a little extra sauce on it. If you said that in a way like, look, man, great game. Josh Allen was balling. They are, 9-1 since they have this. Joe Brady has taken over as an offensive coordinator. But look, ultimately they got to get the job done in the postseason. I would hear you. You acted like it meant nothing. You're acting like as if they could just sit at home and wait till the postseason. I get your point. I think everybody understands we want to see them ultimately get to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl for Josh Allen.
Can I give you some numbers to just help you?
Give me some more numbers. But I'm saying they got to be who's in front of them, because if they would have came, you know why? If they would have lost to the Jags, guess what you would have done in coming here? Have a fit.
No, here you go. This is why he's regular season dead to me. Josh Allen at home against the Chiefs 2024, 186 yards, 1 touchdown. Josh Allen at home against the Bengals in 2023, no touchdowns and 1 pick. Josh Allen in 2020 at versus the Texans, he had no touchdowns and 264 yards. This is what I'm talking about. All of this, can you save this until January? Can you save this to the turn of the year? All of these touchdowns and how great he looks? That's all I'm saying. I'm not paying attention to Josh Allen. I'm not paying attention to the Buffalo Bills. They don't move me at all.
You're about to see this. You know what? I had the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
To the Super Bowl. You're really going out on a limb there.
I had the Lions.
Who are you, Chris Broussard?
I'm sorry. Listen, if you want to bet against somebody who's most of the time right, that's your boy, okay? I had the Chiefs, but now you're about to make me feel like I'm from upstate New York and start rooting for the Bills just to shut you up. Because, look, nobody disagrees that they ultimately want to show up in the postseason. The only thing I'm simply saying is, based off last night, I like what I saw. A lesser, inferior team in front of you, smack them up. Do what else? You know what else they did that the Ravens haven't done this season? Put my foot on somebody's throat. Show up. Win big. Act like you're supposed to be a dominant team, and they did that. So I'm going to at least appreciate and show them some love for doing what they're supposed to do, in that we've come on here so far for 3 weeks of the NFL and have actually been disappointed in some of these superior teams because they haven't shown up, right? We're mad at the Ravens. What's wrong with the Chiefs? We thought the Cowboys were something. We keep these superior teams, so we think we get on them for not showing up and taking care of business. I'm just simply saying I'm going to show them some love because they did exactly what they were supposed to do, and I agree with you. Let's see if they can get it done later.
All right, it is the Odd Couple on a Trash Talking Tuesday. Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington, 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. Trash Talking, of course, coming up an hour or two. But here we go. We want to hear from you. Does Josh Allen's regular season performance even matter anymore? For real. Is it time for him to do it in the postseason for once? We'll continue the conversation next with you. It is the Odd Couple right here on Fox Sports Radio. Hey, Alex.
What's up, Rob?
Stick and stay.
For those who are meant to be held accountable, be accountable in the US of A.
Ooh, bars.
As we continue to dive into some football that took place yesterday, including those pathetic Raiders.
Yeah.
I wanted to call them like
something fireable?
Los Angeles. No, I was going to call them like every place they've been. Oakland, Los Angeles. Then I realized they're in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, well, I don't blame you. We don't have enough time for you to name all the places they've been.
Exactly. But this was like so almost predictable. I mean, after they were being dominated by Baltimore, and for whatever reason, Baltimore gave it up at the end. I think the Raiders scored 13 points in the fourth quarter, beat them. So then you figure you got to win like that. You could build off of it. Kelvin, you beat Baltimore.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a perennial team that most people think has a chance to go to the Super Bowl. So you take that, and now here comes the woeful Panthers. You're not on the road. You're in Las Vegas. This should be what they call money, a layup.
Yeah.
Right? You're 2-1. You're off to a good start. The hiring of Antonio Pierce. Oh, this makes sense. Look at they're playing for him, all this. And instead, they lay an egg. They're frauds, Kelvin. Frauds. You can't let Raggedy Andy come in, throw 3 touchdowns and over 300 yards. You know he's the first quarterback this year to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns?
Yeah. And you know what he told you, too?
Against the Raiders. What'd he tell us?
Put some respect on my name. He was talking to you.
He's talking to me?
He was talking to you. I saw it. You didn't. They put it. Elijah, you ain't put it on social media. Yeah, he said it to you. He said, "Tell Rob Parker put some respect on my name." He said it just like Birdman too. He had the Birdman hands like he was rubbing him like this. Put some respect on my name, just like that.
And he had respect with a K. Is that what he said?
RESPEK. Put some respect on my name. You was this. I'm just telling you what the street said. You was calling him Raggedy Andy and all that, and he ain't like it. He listens to the show.
But I'm saying, ain't no way the Raiders should have given up that game. Rob G. He's the resident.
Before you bring Rob G in, resident Raider fan, the only reason it was a horrible loss. You coming off a big win. You hope it's momentum. Maybe you know how we've all done this. You played sports. Everybody, I'm assuming here, most of us at least play sports. Sometimes you're thinking a game or two ahead, right? Oh, man, we got to play. Ooh, because you already know.
The Raiders are looking ahead? How are they looking ahead?
Because they were looking at the Panthers like this is the lowly Panthers, so lowly that their number one pick that they gave up $27 million assets to get, they've benched him. We got the Panthers coming to town. Oh, they already making plans, bro. They are, shoot, I'm hitting about to do this, about to get into that. They're not even thinking about the Panthers. And they actually forgot they had to play a game. But I want to go to you, Rob G, because Rob said fraud, and I would say, didn't you have to think thought you were good to be a fraud? None of us thought the Raiders were. How can I call you a fraud when I thought you were bad?
Because they beat the Ravens on the road. That's
so
why.
Then maybe the Ravens are fraudulent.
So no, maybe we thought that the Raiders were actually better than our estimation coming into the season because they won a game that they had no business winning. But then they fell right back into who they are.
Don't put
fraudulent
me in that
with a capital F.
Don't put me in that we unless you speak in French. You talk about we didn't think. I thought, what's wrong with the Ravens? That's how we talked about the Eagles. You said that was an epic collapse. What did I say, Rob G? I said the Ravens to me that weekend was a big collapse. You can't be up against this bad Raiders team running the ball. Don't even give Derrick Henry, who we saw, this is what happens when you give him the ball. I'm more mad at the Ravens for that loss. I didn't think the Raiders were all of a sudden good. So Rob G is the resident fan here.
He's the resident.
Are they fraudulent or just this is what they are? What we thought they were.
Rob Parker is right. They are frauds.
Thank you.
Come in around that studio.
First, before you mentioned that they were overlooking the Panthers, right? Because the Panthers are so bad. They just lost by 40, like back-to-back games. They got a new quarterback. Here's the thing, though. This happens every year with the Raiders. Flashback, 2022. Jeff Saturday's first game as a coach with the Colts beats the Raiders.
Man, remember that phase?
That same season.
You just blew me away. I
You
forgot he was a
remember
coach.
That's right.
That same season, Baker Mayfield was this close to being out of football entirely. He gets picked up by the Rams 2 days before the game.
Oh, yeah.
And guess who
beats
he beat?
the Raiders.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Then last season, Antonio Pierce was on the staff last year. They go into Chicago. The quarterback is hurt. No Justin Fields. They're going to get undrafted rookie Tyson Bagent.
Who?
Exactly. We lost that game too. Like, this is what we do historically as a franchise. But as far as Antonio Pierce goes, Antonio Pierce is the first coach that I can remember in all of NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, whatever, to get hired strictly off of vibes. Because there has been nothing going back through his coaching career, if you can call it that.
Because he coached in high school, right?
That would suggest that he'd be a successful NFL coach. His only time before getting this Raiders gig as being a head coach at any level was Long Beach Poly High School. If you live in L.A., Kelvin, I know you're new here. They are
13 years,
a powerhouse in high school football. Antonio Pierce's second season on the job, they missed the playoffs for the first time in 36 years.
Wow.
Okay, then he moves on to Arizona State. He's going to coach linebackers with Herm Edwards and Marvin Lewis, get the band back together. He eventually takes over as defensive coordinator in 2021, his one season there. They're okay. He immediately has to resign for recruiting violations. Gets the Raiders gig. He's the interim guy. Again, He says Raiders really loud, so people like him. He lets Max Crosby smoke cigars in the locker room. People like him. They totally forgot that they lost 3-0 to Minnesota in a game they had to have.
Who was pitching that game?
Exactly. That they had an outside chance at the playoffs. As bad as they were, outside chance, they fumble away a game in Week 15 and it eliminates that too. But because he's cool, he's from Compton, he drives an old car. Again, he has the hype behind him.
There are a lot of things.
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Baby, don't hurt me.
Fox Sports Radio, The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington on a Trash Talking Tuesdays. Thank you for being with your boys. 877-99 on Fox, 877-99 on Fox. We got Ephraim Salaam coming up at the bottom of the hour. Can't wait to talk to Brother E, see what he thinks of some of the games that we've seen over the past weekend. Again, you can jump in, 877-99 on Fox, coming to you live from the TireRack.com studios. Our thanks to Rapid Radios, the official communication device of Fox Sports Radio. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, official, offering national LTE coverage and no subscription or monthly fees. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. You know I have all the kids, Rob. We use them at the show. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and always a good thing, free shipping. All right, Rob, we got the phone lines lined up. They want to jump in and get at you.
No doubt. Let's start with Brian in Tennessee. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, B?
Hey, bonjour, mes amis. I'm not going to ask you how you're doing tonight because I heard the opening.
Yes, you already know. My panties are in a bunch. I just want you to know that.
TMI.
I need a cold shower.
Down the hall to the left. I keep telling you that. But anyways, sorry, Rob. I'm going to go with Kelvin on this. And my point is, you're talking Buffalo. I'm old. I remember watching those 4 straight Super Bowls with Buffalo. And I wish they had won one. But I'm going to say this to you, Rob. Why don't we, instead of saying Buffalo Bills, why don't we say Dallas Cowboys?
Well, we already know that story, but I'm talking about the Josh Allen and the performances. We just saw the Cowboys get blown out at home 2 weeks in a row. I'm talking about the performance that they put on against a terrible Jaguars team, and people are getting all worked up about it. That's my biggest point, is you can't get worked up about some game against. Thanks, Brian, for the call. Appreciate it.
Don't be telling me, hey, let's just get these calls, and now because he's going against you, you want to have a whole soliloquy.
No.
Let's just get to the calls, Rob Parker. Let's just get to the calls.
Mason in the Bay Area, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Mason?
Hey, Rob. Hey, Kelvin. Thanks for having me on, Kelvin. You're a great addition to the show.
My man.
Happy to have you on, man.
Shout out to the Bay Area. Appreciate you, Mason.
Yes, that's nice. Thanks, Mason.
Yeah, big love. Hey, always love for you too, Rob. You have me in a stitch when you're talking about Ohtani with the pizza box.
You know it.
But yeah. But this conversation, it really reminds me a lot of what you're kind of talking about last year when we had this conversation regarding the Detroit Lions. And I hear you. You got to prove it. You got to do it first before I'm going to get all up in arms and ready to crown you. And I'll be the first to say and agree with you that, yesterday didn't move me at all as far as what the Bills did. I didn't see nothing. Beating the Jaguars,
right.
all the 3 Jaguars, go to the papers about it. Okay. Well, what a headline that is. I'm not sold. And I'm not ready to make heads or tails out of the Bills at all. But I'm just saying this conversation does remind me a lot of the Lions because watch them run to the NFC Championship or the AFC Championship this year. You never know, man.
No doubt.
And
Thanks,
Mason, thank you for the call.
No doubt.
I don't disagree. Yep. That only thing I'm simply saying is we can't have it both ways. Had they played poorly and still won or lost to the Jags, y'all would be in here lighting them up. So I'm just saying, hey, they're doing what they're supposed to do, beating who's in front of them, trying to take advantage of this season. That's all I'm saying.
Scott in North Carolina, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Scott?
What's up, my guys? How y'all doing?
What's up, man?
Great. What's up, buddy?
First, I got to say, go Phillies. We just clinched.
Oh, yeah. I know you're excited. Hey, look, These playoffs, I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh, boy.
All the teams are so flawed that I don't know who's going to win. I'm dead serious. It's going to be interesting, right?
I agree with that.
Everybody's flawed.
That's why the Dodgers are winning this year.
Okay, there you go. No pitching. All right, go ahead.
It sounds good, but I gotta say the Buffalo Bills just remind me of the Dallas Cowboys. You know they're gonna win some games, but they're gonna always bottom out in the playoffs. I mean, it's not as dramatic as the Cowboys, but they're always doing the same thing, and it's pretty impressive what he's doing. Josh Allen, what he's doing with less talent, but it's the same thing. They don't really make it far in the playoffs.
Scott, now you know good and well it's not like the Dallas Cowboys. Now, they might lose to a Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
they might miss a field goal.
You're right.
But the Cowboys flame out. Now, I get your sentiment that they don't make it to the Super Bowl.
Buffalo's never made it. Buffalo has never won a Super Bowl. You're right.
And the Cowboys ain't won one in Josh Allen's life or Dak Prescott's life. I get the point.
It's not dramatic. The endings aren't as dramatic, but they always lose.
That's the issue, no doubt, Scott. Thank you. Let's squeeze one more in. Marty in Kentucky, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Marty?
What's up, fellas?
How are you?
Well, I kind of agree with both of you. You both make good points.
Pick a side, Marty. None of that. Marty, pick a side. Stop it.
Pick a side, Rob. I will say that they've never got it done. They haven't finished it. There's a lot of hype around him because he's a popular player. But at the same time, there's a very short list of people that have beat Patrick Mahomes since he's played. That is Joe Burrow and Tom Brady.
So it's been done, though, right? It has been done. So it's not like no one's ever done it.
It was the greatest of all time in a Bengals team that just was hot. That's his point. That he can't get past the guy nobody else can get past.
Of the team that's 0-3 this year, that quarterback?
And that quarterback who balled out.
Okay.
It wasn't his fault. Marty, thank you. Marty McFly was talking real fly to you. Thank you, Marty, for the call. We appreciate it. All right, we got Ephraim Salaam coming up in just a bit. Have some more football conversations with him, former NFL offensive lineman. Right now, Isaac Lowenkron, what is trending, brother?
Jumping gigawatts. Nice Back to the Future reference right there, fellas.
Appreciate that.
You know what? I mean, and they said my references are old. I'm just saying.
At least 80s, not 60s.
See,
Isaac, what's up?
See, Kelvin, Rob missed the point. One of the Back to the Future movies took place in 2015, so that's not
that's why you're
long
here.
ago.
That's why you're here, Isaac.
We're not talking 1955, 1985.
Isaac, that's why you're on the other side of the glass. I'm just saying.
I mean, hang on.
Tell him. There you go. Come on over here.
Let me make sure it's bulletproof. Just checking. Not the first time I've had to do that in my career.
All right.
Fellas, let's begin with the New York Yankees' quest to clinch the American League East Championship. If they beat the Orioles tonight, they will win the division. Right now, they are scoreless with Baltimore in the top of the second inning. Meanwhile, in Philadelphia, Bryce Harper of the Phillies, his 30th home run of the season in the bottom of the first inning against the Cubs this evening. However, in the top half of the second inning, the Cubs scored no less than 6 runs. So they've got a 6-2 lead over the Phillies now in the top of the third. In the NFL, Washington Commanders head coach Dan Quinn said that running back Austin Eckler suffered a concussion and an ear laceration in Monday night's victory at Cincinnati and traveled back to D.C. instead of on to Arizona for Sunday's game against the Cardinals. The Kansas City Chiefs signed running back Kareem Hunt to their active roster from their practice squad. And the Buffalo Bills ruled out cornerback Taron Johnson and linebacker Terrell Bernard for Sunday night's game at Baltimore. Back to Rob Parker and the pride of Crazy Jim's Blimpie Burger, Kelvin Washington.
Hey, what you know about that?
I know you can get a quad cheese for only $6.71.
Man.
That's an unbelievable deal.
I have to be honest. I haven't been in since they moved to the new location. That's like a staple in Ann Arbor.
But the only problem is I think I had one, but it had a tail on it, Isaac. I'm just saying.
This is what I'm talking about.
Is that why it was just $6.71?
Exactly. Otherwise, it would have been $13 for a hamburger.
And they tell you get what you pay for. You got to relax.
Yes.
All right. So, Trash Talking Tuesday, the Odd Couple, Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington, being joined by Ephraim Salaam, former NFL offensive lineman, plus Fox Sports Radio Weekends host as well. Ephraim, what's up, man? I'm glad you're here to talk some sense into my brother.
What's up, Ephraim?
What's happening, man? How y'all doing?
Doing good, man.
Ephraim, this guy, he keeps talking about getting me to talk somebody to talk sense into me. This is who I am. Nothing's going to change.
That's true.
Hey, man, it's over. That ship has sailed.
You're right about that. I was hanging on to hope, brother. Hanging on to hope.
Ain't no hope, man. You can take that hope, ball it up, throw it out the window.
Ephraim, let's start here. I'm not going to sit around here praising Josh Allen for beating up on a team that didn't even show up to the game. But if you're a Jacksonville, Doug Peterson was supposed to straighten out, right? Was supposed to come there and get Lawrence right, but it doesn't look like that. And should he be fired? I mean, that was just a piss-poor performance where a team didn't show up. And I give him credit. He said everything's on the table now because it has to be. That was terrible.
Yeah, that was a bad outing, man. You let a team score on their first 5 possessions, then it something has to give. That's hard to do. It's almost impossible to do. And it was literally no resistance. That was like a scrimmage, right? You're at home or like you're in college and that's your homecoming team, right? Everybody picks the the gimme for the homecoming game. And it was I mean, I had Josh Allen and James Cook on my fantasy, so it was great. It was great for me. But in terms of watching, it just was a hard watch, being a former Jaguar, that team was really built on their defense and how they got after people, and just to have just literally a revolving door going up and down the field. I mean that's how you lose your job. That's how a lot of people lose their jobs. Is that especially with the amount of money and the picks that they've invested on the defensive side of the ball.
I want to go to another and show some love to somebody else who played yesterday, and that's Jaden Daniels, who looked fantastic, 91%. I think it was 22 or 25, couple touchdowns. I mean, he looked spectacular. And this is in a season, Ephraim, where a lot of the young supposed stars, these young picks or even second-year guys, we were like, they're not looking good thus far. What'd you make of him and having his team 2-1, the Commanders in the NFL least, as people like to call it, where you never know they may be competing to win this division?
I don't mean to toot my own horn, but the pre-season I had picked them to compete for that division. Everybody was like, "What?"
So what does that mean, Ephraim? All right, I want you to give me not to compete. Are they going to win the division? Yes or no?
I said yes.
Okay. All right. As long as you're on the record, I want to make sure we get you on the record on that.
No, I said yes. And on my show that I do every Sunday, it's already on record because I said it.
But I'm going to put it on record on the show people are listening to, Ephraim.
Oh, wow. Dang. That hurt my heart right there.
Yeah, he feeling a little extra spicy today, bro.
He is, man. He is. He must have some chicken wings or something in there.
What's up in his lunch bag?
But look, the thing I like about what the Commanders have going is, first of all, it's new energy, and that goes from ownership on down. New energy, new blood. You come in, you bring the new coaching staff, and then you bring in a young kid who's dynamic, won the Heisman, but you can see it. You can watch him play and see he has the intangibles. The only thing people were worried about was his size, right? They were like, oh, he's thin, he's not going to be able to last, he's not going to be able to. Ask defenders if they can get a clean shot on him.
He does look skinny, though. I'm shocked at how small he looks, though.
He is elusive, and shout out to them really working on him. Cliff Kingsbury and everybody. He actually slid yesterday.
Man,
right? He got
thank God.
His first slide in. But if he can protect himself and take care of it, and he's not going to take on those shots. He's not Cam Newton. He's not going to put his head down and try to take those shots because he knows, hey, I can't survive like that. But this young man, what happens is they'll roll him out the pocket. First read isn't there. Check down isn't there. He's gone. Oh. And that decisiveness is the thing that's going to propel him because all that does is, number one, it drives your defense crazy, But number two, it allows you to continue to drive the ball down the field, right? It allows you to pick up these third downs and to win that time of possession and keep your offense on the field. So with that, I think everything that's going on in that division, I like the Commanders because the youth is on their side and just that offensive line, man. That offensive line was moving some people. So I'll go on record and say, yeah, that's my pick. Definitely ain't Dallas, I can tell you that.
Oh, well, nobody really buys them, not even Jerry Jones at this point. Ephraim Salaam's joining us, former NFL offensive lineman, Fox Sports Radio Weekends with the Odd Couple, Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington.
People do listen to the show. Just
of course they do. Of course, Fox Sports Radio on the weekend. Oh, absolutely. Hey, Ephraim, I never miss your radio show.
This boy, look
I hate you, man. You know what? I hate you. I got a real problem with you right now.
If you want, you know what? Alex told me earlier, engineer extraordinaire, he said for some reason he told me, hey, if you feel like swinging on Rob, do so today. I don't know what's up. Everybody feeling like they want me to swing on you today, Rob.
No. Ephraim, let me ask you. Jerry Jones said that it's okay to blame him with where the Cowboys are 1-2. What do you make of that? And we know it's been 30 years since he took the reins, told Jimmy Johnson to get lost, and it's been a disaster since Jerry Jones has owned this team. And they've been blown out 2 weeks in a row at home. What do you make of the Cowboys?
Well, I think the Cowboys on the show that nobody listens to on Sunday on my show, 5 to 8 Pacific. I said the Cowboys are like a BBL, right?
Okay.
They're the BBL of the NFL, and for those who don't know, that's a Brazilian butt lift, right?
Oh,
all this money.
Okay.
You can go spend all this money, right? You pay Dak, you can pay CeeDee Lamb, and you're like, ooh, we did all of this. We built up this nice body and all of that. But when it comes to being real, like a real team and a real threat, you can spot the fake from the real. So if you're standing behind somebody in line and you look down and you see they got a whole wagon attached to their leg, you can say, oh, that's not real. That's a BBL. That's what the Dallas Cowboys are. They are the BBL of the NFL, right? That means they look good on paper. Yeah, you pay for it. But in reality, when you get close to it, when it comes down to it, it's all fake. It's all a facade. And those don't last long. And that's what we're seeing right now with the Dallas Cowboys. They didn't do anything to address the run game. They lost offensive linemen, didn't bring in a real running back. This whole Derrick Henry thing, we couldn't afford him. Well, why not? Why couldn't you have afforded him? Right? You didn't even try. And the fact that you wouldn't try, look at what Saquon's doing for Philly. Look at what what's going on in Baltimore. Look at these running backs that Jacobs in Green Bay. Like, look at what's happened with those dynamic running backs that were on the market. And Dallas just decided, hey, we're not going to do that. Yeah, it is his fault because they're exactly where they're supposed to be based on his decisions.
Well, I tell you what, we got less than a minute, Ephraim. I didn't expect a BBL conversation to come up in here. I thought you just hurt every Instagram influencer's life. The whole bunch of feelings just got hurt with that one, Ephraim.
Hey, man, it is what it is, man. Some people like real, some people like fake.
No, listen, real is always his style. Getting out of here on this one real quick. Joe Burrow looked like the Joe Burrow folks wanted to see last night. Spectacular,
and they still
dynamic.
Win.
They still take an L. He says the season isn't over. It's a wrap, right?
Not for them. They have a way of somehow trying to figure it out later, but they don't. They only got 1 or 2 more games they can lose before winning, and then this thing is you can go ahead and tell it. Look, this is what happens when, like, so they had Chase hold out. They having receiver issues all at once. All that distraction, right? Once you're in the season and all that distraction, like, look, I love Jamar Chase, but you got 2 years left on your deal. We're not about to renegotiate. We're not about to do that, right? And look, this is the first week that last night was the first time they actually looked like they could get something done. But it's been a slow start. When you hold out and you miss all that training camp and all that, especially when your quarterback's coming off an injury, then you look how you look. And that's where they are right now.
All right, there you have it. Ephraim Salaam, former NFL player.
Ephraim.
Also,
you're whatever.
Also,
Ephraim, I love you.
Also a buttologist. You didn't know he was a buttologist out here in these streets.
When we introduced Ephraim, we talked about the weekend superstar, Ephraim
here we
Salaam.
go. Here we go.
There you go. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'm not going to let you do my brother like that because we did Sundays together a few years
back. You already
back.
know.
And we was rocking.
And when you were on the show, nobody listened either.
No, we were rocking. Ephraim, I got your back, bro.
All right.
Hey, thank you so much. All right, Ephraim joining the show. We appreciate it. All right, coming up, we got Shekel City in just a little bit, but right now we got to talk about Dan Campbell. He has been one of those people who has had press conferences, Rob, where he says some wild stuff. Your boy DC back at it again. We'll tell you what he said next. It's Fox Sports Radio.
Including those pathetic Raiders.
Yeah.
I wanted to call them like
something fireable?
Los Angeles. No, I was going to call them like every place they've been. Oakland, Los Angeles, then I realized they're in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, well, I don't blame you. We don't have enough time for you to name all the places they've been.
Exactly. But this was like so almost predictable. I mean, after they were being dominated by Baltimore, and for whatever reason, Baltimore gave it up at the end. I think the Raiders scored 13 points in the fourth quarter, beat them. So then you figure you got to win like that. You could build off of it. Kelvin, you beat Baltimore.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a perennial team that most people think has a chance to go to the Super Bowl. So you take that, and now here comes the woeful Panthers. You're not on the road. You're in Las Vegas. This should be money, a layup.
Yeah.
Right? You're 2-1. You're off to a good start. The hiring of Antonio Pierce. Oh, this makes sense. Look at they're playing for him, all this. And instead, they lay an egg. They're frauds. Kelvin, frauds. You can't let Raggedy Andy come in, throw 3 touchdowns and over 300 yards. You know he's the first quarterback this year to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns?
Yeah. And you know what he told you, too?
Against the Raiders. What'd he tell us?
Put some respect on my name. He was talking to you.
He's talking to me?
He was talking to you. I saw it. You didn't. They put it. Elijah, you ain't put it on social media. Yeah, he said it to you. He said, "Tell Rob Parker put some respect on my name." He said it just like Birdman too. He had the Birdman hands like he was rubbing him like this. Put some respect on my name, just like that.
And he had respect with a K. Is that what he said?
RESPEK. Put some respect on my name. You was this. I'm just telling you what the street said. You was calling him Raggedy Andy and all that, and he ain't like it. He listens to the show.
But I'm saying, ain't no way the Raiders should have given up that game. Rob G. He's the resident.
Before you bring Rob G in, resident Raider fan, the only reason it was a horrible loss. You coming off a big win. You hope it's momentum. Maybe you know how we've all done this. You played sports. Everybody, I'm assuming here, most of us at least play sports. Sometimes you're thinking a game or two ahead, right? Oh, we got to play. Ooh, because you already know.
The Raiders are looking ahead? How are they looking ahead?
Because they were looking at the Panthers like this is the lowly Panthers. So lowly that their number one pick that they gave up $27 million assets to get, they've benched him. We got the Panthers coming to town. Oh, they already making plans, bro. They are, I'm hitting about to do this, about to get into that. They're not even thinking about the Panthers. And they actually forgot they had to play a game. But I want to go to you, Rob G, because Rob said fraud, and I would say, didn't you have to think thought you were good to be a fraud? None of us thought the Raiders were. How can I call you a fraud when I thought you were bad?
Because they beat the Ravens on the road. That's
so
why.
So then maybe the Ravens are fraudulent.
So no, maybe we thought that the Raiders were actually better than our estimation coming into the season because they won a game that they had no business winning. But then they fell right back into who they are.
Don't put me in that
with a capital F.
Don't put me in that we unless you speak in French. You talk about we didn't think. I thought, what's wrong with the Ravens? That's how we talked about the Eagles. You said that was an epic collapse. What did I say, Rob G? I said the Ravens to me that weekend was a big collapse. You can't be up against this bad Raiders team running the ball. Don't even give Derrick Henry, who we saw, this is what happens when you give him the ball. I'm more mad at the Ravens for that loss. I didn't think the Raiders were all of a sudden good. So Rob G is the resident fan here.
He's the resident.
Are they fraudulent or just this is what they are? What we thought they were.
Rob Parker is right. They are frauds.
Thank you.
Come in run that studio.
First, before you mentioned that they were overlooking the Panthers, right? Because the Panthers are so bad. They just lost by 40, like back-to-back games. They got a new quarterback. Here's the thing, though. This happens every year with the Raiders. Flashback, 2022. Jeff Saturday's first game as a coach with the Colts beats the Raiders.
Man, remember that phase?
Yes.
That same season.
I
you
forgot he was a coach.
That. That's right.
That same season, Baker Mayfield was this close to being out of football entirely. He gets picked up by the Rams 2 days before the game.
Oh, yeah.
And guess who
Beats
he beat?
the Raiders.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Then last season, Antonio Pierce was on the staff last year. They go into Chicago. The quarterback is hurt. No Justin Fields. They're going to get undrafted rookie Tyson Bagent.
Who?
Exactly. We lost that game too. Like, this is what we do historically as a franchise. But as far as Antonio Pierce goes, Antonio Pierce is the first coach that I can remember in all of NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, whatever, to get hired strictly off of vibes. Because there has been nothing going back through his coaching career, if you can call it that.
Because he coached in high school, right?
That would suggest that he'd be a successful NFL coach. His only time before getting this Raiders gig as being a head coach at any level was Long Beach Poly High School. If you live in L.A., Calvin, I know you're new here.
I've been here 13 years, yeah.
Powerhouse in high school football. Antonio Pierce's second season on the job, they missed.
Fox Sports Radio, The Odd Couple. Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington on a Trash Talking Tuesday.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
You heard that. Coming to you live from the TireRack.com studios. Shortly after the show, our podcast will be going up. And if you missed any of today's show, be sure to check out the podcast. Just search Odd Couple wherever you get your podcast. And be sure to also follow. Please rate. Please review the pod. Again, just search Odd Couple wherever you get your podcast, and you'll see today's show posted right after we get off. Rob, you know what time it is.
What time is
Shekel City, brother.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was that kind of night. I choked on my own vomit after. I was 1-2 last night. Got both football games wrong. Got the Mariners right, 1-2. But my total so far since we restarted the clock, 21-17, very respectable.
Yeah, I respect it.
I could be under 500 big time, but I'm winning some games out here. Here we go, Shekel City best bet. Twins minus 1.5 runs. They're hosting the Marlins in Minneapolis. I got the Braves minus 1.5 runs. They are hosting the Mets. So these are all games that matter. And I got the Royals minus 1.5. They're in D.C. taking on the Nationals. So Royals, Braves, and the Twins all minus 1.5. I got that beautiful parlay. And Kelvin, remember this.
What's that?
I'm not telling you who to bet on.
What you telling them?
I'm telling you who I bet on. Give me the money shot. That's right.
Hey, listen, 21 and 17? That's
not
respectable. Bad. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all.
You could win a little money there,
All right, so you know what I was mad at as a Detroit Lions fan some years back now, 3-4 years ago? That is when Dan Campbell was hired, and at his press conference, he was talking about biting kneecaps. We're going to be doing all this, all that Neanderthal talking. We were coming off of horrible Matt Patricia era. So as a Lions fan, even on these airwaves, I actually declared that I was about to give up my fandom of the Lions because I'm like, what are we doing here?
Was that the show with Ephraim?
That was the show that mad people were listening to, downloading the podcast. With my man Ephraim Salaam. Don't make me call him Ephraim right now. We have to jump you and kick you off your own show. So I say that to say Dan Campbell sometimes has a way in front of a mic to say some wild things. And, your boy DC was back at it again. Rob G, we got the sound for that?
I wish we did, but it's on a competing network. They wouldn't let us play it.
All right, tell him what he said.
What did he say?
But he was talking about a play where David Montgomery on Sunday was carried by his offensive line like 3 yards forward. His feet were off the ground. He just carried. Dan Campbell, talking about that play, says, quote, "That play is like mother's milk when you're a baby, if you want to know the truth. Food for the soul. It's outstanding."
What does he be talking about sometimes? Now, that's my man's $100,000. Even though he lets me down a couple of times so far. But overall, he's been good for the Lions. As you know, you were in Detroit for so many years, and Wayne Fontes was about the last thing they had, and he wasn't that great, too.
He was terrible. Are you kidding?
I know you got him fired. Now we're getting brothers fired in the streets. It's hard for a brother to get a job, and you out here firing them.
If you don't get the job done.
What in the non-affirmative action?
What? Hey, if you can't get the job done, I don't care. I'm going to call it like I see it. Wayne Fontes was terrible.
So, all right, he says that. And it got me thinking, Rob, What are some other crazy moments we've had where coaches get up there and the bright lights of a press conference got them crazy? Remember Mike Singletary pulling down his pants at a press conference too? Remember that one? What happens up there with these coaches? Sometimes have meltdowns when they get up there.
Some of these guys, I don't think that they're thinking. I really don't. I don't understand it that they're in front of a press corps and that it's being recorded. You know, there's some great moments though. You know, like
there are some great ones. Danny Green.
Yeah, Danny Green. Danny Green. That was great. That we could always have. What was the other guy? Who was the college football coach? I'm 40.
Oklahoma State was
I'm
that?
Yeah, Gun. I'm a man.
Yep.
I'm 40. I'm a man.
That was a great one as well. Obviously, playoffs.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah, and playoffs. Like
playoffs is a great one.
Playoffs?
What is that little?
That's a
playoffs.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's what he should have said.
That's when you're offended by something. You know what I mean? Somebody say something. What? What? Don't ask me nothing crazy.
We couldn't. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't. I remember that. That was a classic though. But they've been playing that for years.
Yeah. You play to win the game is another one as well.
You play to win the game.
That's another one. We've had some great ones and some bad ones too. But Dan Campbell sometimes.
I don't know about just the idea about breast milk. Really, is that?
I don't know if that was the kind of milk you were referring to with your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
No.
I had a glizzy in my mouth.
No.
I don't know what kind of breast. Alex, you weren't here. And by the way, the poll, the update, you were wrong. The last I checked, it was 75% of people yesterday on our poll we put up on FSR's X handle, the Odd Couple FSR. 75% were with me. If you want a peanut butter and jelly, you just eat a peanut butter and jelly. You don't have to have milk.
It makes no sense. What do you wash it down with, Alex?
I got a Coke Zero right now.
A Coke Zero with peanut butter and jelly doesn't even go together.
I can tell you this. I was out the beautiful Mount Baldy yesterday with my lady, and we were on this beautiful river in the middle of nowhere. An hour and 25 minutes from society. I made the best PB&Js with banana, cinnamon, honey, etc. Nothing to wash it down. It was perfect.
Well, hold on. I was with you, Alex, until I realized you said nothing. I thought you were going to say it was anything but milk.
Well,
man, we might have lost you. Alex, you know you my man $100,000.
And then
you almost could have died, bro. Choco, we got bananas, bread, and peanut butter.
Well, wait a minute. Did you drink the water?
Did you drink the lake?
No.
Did you drink the water from the lake to wash it down?
When you use almond butter and like good, really naturally berry jelly, it's just, you don't need nothing. It's great.
Man, listen, Alex, we were almost up in here singing, "This is for my homie."
I'm sorry.
In that gangster lane. We almost missed you.
When I eat, I have to have something to wash down the food. I need to wash it down. So why wouldn't you wash it down?
Yeah, listen. Now, you know Alex is wrong when you got me siding with Rob again. Like, all right, I'm actually went out with Rob because you can't. If you would have just said a normal peanut butter and jelly, you can't tell me dry old cinnamon.
Come on,
bananas and peanut butter. Yeah, you thank God your honey was there because somebody was got to give you CPR. Somebody's got to bring you back to life.
Just sounds hard to swallow.
Stay with your boys, Fox Sports Radio.
Hold up.